Hasan is being subpoenaed by the U.S. government, which is the absolute craziest thing to happen this week. I'm not even going to say in general, of course not, but it is a pretty insane thing to happen. It's absolute bullshit. It's disgusting that the government is going after him for helping Cubans. It's disgusting that they're subpoenaing him. And by the way, notice that they're doing it to Hasan and nobody else. There were hundreds of creators that went, but Hasan is the largest guy with the microphone, which is why I say he's not just a streamer. He has the attention of the US government. I am a streamer. Hasan is not just a streamer. I don't have the attention of the US government, and hopefully I will not. But once you become that focused, you have the choice to become somebody or not. Hasan has chosen to be somebody. So you no longer can look at him like a guy you love watching for funsies. He's not a funsies guy. He's a serious player in the game. And so because he's a serious player, we have to be serious about the way the US government is weaponizing their power to attack private citizens, public figures, activists, and people who take aid to people in need. Aid that is needed because of our intervention around the world, okay?
Niemöller was a
This is the beginning of his video.
Clergyman, a Protestant. He wrote the following. In Germany, they came first for the communists. And I didn't speak up because I wasn't a communist.
Maybe some of you are unfamiliar with what's going on, and maybe many of you are completely aware of what's going on. But yeah, last night I ended the broadcast. I was tired, and I thought, oh, I'll just go to bed. But I, on the other hand, got a text message, or rather a voicemail, from a Fox News producer saying that I had been subpoenaed by the federal government. And I was like, that's strange. Asking for comment. And
Insane.
before I could even respond to the journalist, an article materialized on the timeline. But let's just say that kind of fucked my whole night up. I mean, it's bullshit, but still not great that they're after your boy. They're up my ass. Great timing. The timing since the interview yesterday is crazy, though. Yeah, I saw a lot of like weird suspicions that, oh, this is because of Elon Musk. Guys, that's not how this works. Getting a subpoena from the federal government, that takes time. It's an administrative
It's about Cuba.
warrant, not dissimilar to the ones that ICE uses. So there's technically no real authority backing it, from what I understand. But we'll obviously, I haven't gotten anything yet, so I don't know.
Yeah, Chet says the liberals saying they're uncommitted or even praising this action is disgusting. Bro, the way Democrats have shown their true colors, but this is why I say I don't know why Hasan plays nice with the Democrats. This is what I'm saying. Be an activist. Stop being a politician. Be an activist. Be or don't. It's not my job to tell Hasan what to do. I just, in my opinion, would think that, because this is the thing that happens with every time somebody gets the microphone and they rise to power, they get tested. But I don't know why you're being so nice to the Democrats, playing any kind. Why are you even hosting them on your stream? Why are you even giving them airtime? Why are you talking to Ashley St. Clair? Why are you playing nice with these people who would throw you under the bus in 2.5 seconds instead of rallying with people? And by the way, almost every leftist that I've seen, even people who hate Hasan, who are liberal on the creator side, I don't watch the debate bros like that. So I don't know what Destiny is saying, but everybody else is on Hasan's side. Everyone is saying this is bullshit, right? And I think there's something to that. There's something to the fact that it doesn't matter our differences. Hey, this shit is real and we're not going to stand for it. And it's sad to see politicians that we've elected see this happen to Hasan and throw around memes. Because it's like, you're a servant of the public. You're a public servant looking at a citizen of the United States who, yes, has criticized your work as a politician, as he should, and you are laughing that he's being subpoenaed by the government for helping Cubans?
I don't know anything. This is a long-term process. So this is not new. No, it's not a congressional subpoena. It's from the DOJ and the Treasury. Hope you're lawyered up. Yes, I'll get lawyered up. Don't worry. Do not talk about what's going on before talking to a lawyer. I mean, there's nothing I have not had anything happen to me yet. Technically, nothing has happened to me. It's just Fox News is saying things are happening to me. And it's not like there's anything that I've done. But the unfortunate reality here is you don't really have to do anything for this government to decide that they want to do something with you. Let's get started. So I'm hit in the face with this text message or this voicemail rather from Fox News producer.
Look, Hasan would have to be truly a psychopath to enjoy any of this. This must be so scary. And so I'm going to assume he's pretty scared. It just got real. I think this is oh, wait, it was all fun and games being on Twitch and poking at the bear, but this is a big deal. And he rightfully is probably feeling pretty nervous. You know, if I was his family member or his friend, I would feel very upset. Like I would feel very emotionally like this is bad, you know?
And it's a little bit alarming. It's a little bit shocking. I'm like, what's going on? Like, what do you, I'm a little bit confused because I'm like, why does Fox News know about something that apparently is going on in my life that I didn't know about? Right.
Oh, well,
yeah. The very
we
same
know.
reason why Fox News got this story before anyone else. And the very same reason why the suspicions within the subpoena, according to Fox News, are ridiculous is because this is very clearly another intimidation tactic from the American government. It is a way to silence dissent. It's a way to actively tie up activists, dissidents alike. It's a way to try to have a chilling effect on speech. And some people, it seems, some likely and some unlikely people have been cheering it on. Fox News, federal officials have served subpoenas to Marxist political influencer Hasan Piker and Code Pink co-founder Susan Medea Benjamin as a part of a wider investigation into whether U.S. organizations and leaders violated U.S. laws and sanctions in supporting Cuba's.
Again, why would Hasan Piker be subpoenaed? Like, why, if you're concerned about something happening, I understand going after organizations, and even then I don't trust anything this administration does. But I still don't understand why you're going specifically after Hasan Piker, who was just a part of, so why not anybody else? And God, I'm not trying to manifest that, right? These creators don't need that. But it is absolutely a disgusting use of power that this is happening, and everybody should be upset about it.
Communist regime. Fox News Digital has learned. Now, very clearly, they leaked this story to Fox News ahead of time because it's an intimidation operation. It's not a serious investigation into serious misconduct or anything. It's just a way to prod and intimidate and tie people up with paperwork in a costly legal.
Yo, paperwork, guys, you know how they talk about the poor tax? Paperwork tax. The stress of doing paperwork correctly, which is why, like, I'm an open borders girly, which is why, like, I don't believe like anyone is illegal, is because it's a trap. It's a handcuff of, oh, fill out this paper, do it perfectly, do everything right, don't da 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 da. And it's a game of chasing the right paperwork. You know what I mean? And it is a tactic. It's a tactic to make you exhausted, to make you feel crazy. So you never, just fill out the paperwork. That's why when conservatives say like, oh, just do it legally, just fill out the paperwork. They don't, I don't think they're educated to even understand, a lot of them though, a lot of them are, to understand that it's just, it's a trick. It's a trick to make you think that it's easy. Just do the, you know what I mean? You know why too? Because like, and I don't want to speak, but like, let's just say if you have a family member that immigrated to this country at a certain time, their immigration process really was do you want to be an American? Yes. Okay. You're in. And so they think it's still that way. Like they think that some people literally just filled out like a piece of paper and they were let in, and they don't understand the ways that things have changed, the ways that like, you know what I mean? Like you have to think about it from that perspective. And not to make this sound weird, but you know, here we are talking about Chelsea Fagan and her French husband. He's still on a green card. He doesn't even have a citizenship yet. Like all those people that were like, I don't understand why Brittany didn't move to the US with her partner, out of budget. And I wasn't about to put my partner in that lottery. I know because I also had family members who were green card holders for like 20 fucking years. So like this whole conversation about like, oh, why don't you just like immigrate to the US? Like, I know you guys think that I don't know why people think it's such an easy process, but how can people who claim to understand how the system works think it's an easy process? You know what I mean? So for people to be like, oh, Brittany, and again, this isn't many people, oh, Brittany's like, it's such a privilege for Brittany not to live in the US. I didn't even have the privilege to live there. So again, like you're doing this thing that, how can you say in one part of your mouth it's hard to become a US citizen and the paperwork is crazy? And also, you know, again, like there's a misconception. Yeah, Chad said, unless you're rich, and but to be fair, even if you're rich, because you remember, like, not to bring them up, but you know, when Destiny and Melina were married, I remember Melina was still a green card holder. For like 5 years, she was in the United States and she never got citizenship. And they were rich. They're millionaires, or at least Destiny was. So even Destiny, being a millionaire, didn't expedite his European wife, who now they're divorced because he was abusive, of course, didn't, expedite her citizen process. So that's why I say, like, when I think about immigration and I think about the way we act like it's so easy, there are so many people waiting because it's a lottery system. It really is a lottery system. So again, when we have these conversations, I think people really underestimate how hard it is for people, which is why I'm deeply empathetic to people who cross the border, who come here, undocumented, because I absolutely understand how frustrating it is. It's so stupid that a piece of paper is keeping people away from their family. A piece of paper is keeping you away from a better life. A piece of paper is keeping you away from the life that you want, rather. It's really ridiculous.
Battle. In any case, Fed subpoena Hasan Piker Medea Benjamin over Cuba trips. Investigation part of a broader dragnet involving as many 40 American citizens who joined Marxist convoy to Havana. First on Fox, breaking news. Federal officials have served subpoenas to Marxist political influencer Hasan Piker and co-founder Susan Medea Benjamin as a part of a wider investigation into whether U.S. organizations and leaders violated U.S. laws and sanctions in supporting Cuba's communist regime. Fox News Digital has learned. Piker and Benjamin are among those caught in a federal inquiry into whether activists who traveled to Cuba in March violated U.S. sanctions laws through the financing, coordination, or delivery of goods to Cuba, including potential contacts with the Cuban government personnel or entities on the island.
God forbid we help people. You see how they criminalize helping people? That is one of the biggest reasons why I think it's interesting that Chelsea Fagan went a nonprofit route in the way that she did by buying a second home for her and her husband and turning it into a quote nonprofit instead of co-ops or instead of working with the community or handing out meals. You know what I'm saying? Like, with $1 million, you bought a second house in France. Like, honestly, how many people could you have fed for how many years just paying for someone's groceries? You know what I'm saying? So like, there's a way, like, if you're going to give back to the community directly. And so, it's very, very intentional from the U.S. government. It's very, very intentional through their, like, this is very intentional that they are punishing you for helping. And so you feel bad for helping. And I this is why I say, like, I question the way we're even conditioned to help, because I do think Chelsea Fagan is an example of conditioning of this is what help looks like. And it's like, I don't know if that's what help really looks like and the way that you think. And again, this is all at the end of the day conditioning from being raised in the US. But it's amazing to me that anyone could ever be celebrating this move for the Trump administration. But there will be. There will be.
The administrative subpoenas were sent to the pair by the Treasury Department's Office of Foreign Assets Control. So not only were we OFAC compliant, but I'm also doubly protected because I didn't just go to Cuba on a humanitarian aid trip. I went to Cuba with a journalism visa. So I actually got a press visa from the Cuban government as well. This is not only an attack against, activists and people who want to do humanitarian aid work to countries that the United States of America is starving. But beyond that, I was there to interview people. I interviewed regular Cubans and ordinary Cubans in Cuban society. I interviewed doctors, and I also interviewed government officials. And not only is this not illegal, but it's also out there, It's not a secret. If you go to my YouTube page right now, you can see it. It's actually right here. I went to Cuba. This is what I saw. Mini doc. I pretty much filmed everything that I did there. And I put it into this mini doc. Here I am interviewing the foreign minister. This is not illegal. This is actually very legal. So kind of strange. Also, one of the things that they brought up is really funny. The administrative subpoena is called Request for Information, or RFI, seek financial, logistical, and communications information revolving around the trips the two widely bragged about making to the island nation in March with the delegations of the Nuestra America Convoy, or our America Convoy, from a global network of communist sympathizers, activists, and influencers who brought supplies to the country's ruling Communist Party of Cuba, according to the sources familiar with the matter. The investigation is part of a broader effort by officials at the Treasury, State, and Justice Departments to curb malign foreign influence operations inside the United States, particularly activities tied to support for political violence, extremist movements, or acts the U.S. government classifies as terrorism. The scrutiny reflects growing concern among federal authorities and lawmakers over whether foreign actors and aligned organizations are attempting to shape American political discourse, mobilize activists, and sow discord and normalize rhetoric that could encourage violence or undermine U.S. national security interests. Ken Klippenstein believes that this is a tie into the NS.
A threat to U.S. security is feeding people. That's basically what they're saying. They're like, this is a threat to security that you fed and helped people who are in a crisis because of our actions. Damn, brother. It's almost like, you ever have those like toxic family dynamics where a sibling is being beaten up by the parent and the other sibling goes to help the parent and the parent's like, why are you attacking? Or goes to help the child and the parent's like, why are you attacking me by helping your sibling? And it's like, they take it as an affront, because obviously what it implies is that the U.S. government is doing so much harm that its own citizens have to go help Cubans. And it's like, yeah, like that's why they can't own it. That's why they hate it, because it looks bad for the U.S. government, as it should look bad.
What is it? NSPM7, the whole counterterrorism initiative that they have. According to the American government, it's actually terrorism to be anti-fascist It's terrorism to be anti-capitalist. And now I guess it's terrorism to send humanitarian aid, to deliver humanitarian aid to an island nation that we have starved and caused tremendous suffering to.
Wow.
Incredible. I mean, what could you say? It's just pure evil, I guess.
Wow.
According to a Fox News digital investigation, Singham has pumped 278.
Evil. This is what I'm saying. This is pure evil. It is philosophical evil. Not evil in the religious sense, okay? This is philosophical evil. There's no justification. It's deeply cruel. It's all about domination. It's, I talked about this in my Bert Simon channel. This is a form of violence that isn't used to liberate people. It's used to subjugate people. And this is the difference, is that this administration is not a minority group that's seeking liberation. It is seeking domination. And this is why I say, like, violence does not only come in the, it can come in words. It can come in, it can come in this. It doesn't have to be people knocking on down your door and kidnapping you. That is also a form of violence. And this is it. This is a legal form of violence that they're using against Hasan Piker and others for doing the right thing.
$1 million into nonprofit groups that have pushed pro-China, pro-Cuba, anti-U.S. narratives and street protests for almost a decade since his marriage in February 2017 to Code Pink co-founder Jody Evans, who's also being investigated for her role in the March trip. Code Pink received $1.3 million from Singham after he married Evans. This is Jody Evans, who I took a photo with. They love this photo for some reason. I don't know why. She's one of the co-founders of Code Pink. She's wonderful. Like, all of this investigation, at least the high notes, make it seem like they just saw stuff on like New York Post and on Twitter and were like, oh, this must be valid. In mid-March, organizations in the Singham network, from the Venceremos Brigade to People's Forum, a hub for communist cause in New York City, were leaders of the Nuestra American Convoy, which included an estimated 650 delegates from 33 countries and 120 organizations. The organizations included Democratic Socialists of America, a U.S. nonprofit that promotes Piker as a headline member. By the way, that's so funny. The DSA does not promote me as a headline member, but, f it, we ball. The investigation of the Office of Foreign Assets Control is part of a broader dragnet that includes as many as 40 American citizens who joined foreign nationals, including a controversial Brazil activist, Thiago Avila, who are part of a global network of anti-U.S. Marxist, communist, and socialist. Additional subpoenas are expected. The administrative subpoenas mark a serious escalation by the Trump administration against a far-left nonprofit activist network that has spent years defending communist regimes from Cuba to China, while presenting its work as humanitarian aid, anti-war organizing, and solidarity with people oppressed by the imperialist U.S. colonial power. Yeah, because that's what it is. It's literally, it's an anti-war initiative. Code Pink is an anti-war initiative, an anti-war movement that wants to stop American wars. There's more, though. The story gets even dumber. As reported, a Fox News digital investigation has identified 145 U.S. nonprofits and activist groups with $1 billion in collective revenues that Justice and Treasury Department officials are investigating as a part of a wider influence campaign by Cuba's communist regime and foreign actors. First of all, Cuba doesn't even have $1 billion. This is why it's insane, but also kind of funny in a weird way. Whenever people are like, "Oh, I bet you're getting paid by the Cuban government, bro." They don't have money. With what money? You think they got money? It's one of those things where I can't tell if people are just like so used to only at advancing causes for monetary reasons, like they just can't possibly fathom the idea that someone would want to genuinely help the Cuban population, genuinely demand that we stop, killing Cubans with our economic terrorism, right? Like, what money do they have to give me money? You know what I mean? It's very stupid. According to public statements, it's believed that delegation members stayed at a hotel the U.S. State Department has put on a Cuba restricted list. Oh, this is what's really funny. This is not a part of the subpoena, I don't think. This journalist is just adding this on. No. I haven't received the subpoena yet, so I have no idea. But let me tell you why. Because that's not real.
Wait, I don't understand how Hasan hasn't even received the subpoena, but Fox News can run the story. Like, is that part weird or is that typical? I don't know what the expectation would be normally, but that would feel so strange. Like, that's like waking up and finding out on TikTok that your partner is about to give you divorce papers. Like, you haven't even served the divorce papers, but somehow TikTok knows. Is that, like, I know he pointed it out at the beginning of stream, like, that's why they have the story, but isn't that weird? Like, I know that the government, obviously somebody gave Fox News the story, but is there any legal precedent? Does anybody know if there's some legal, like, the person has to know they're being subpoenaed before the rest of the world? I don't know.
Actually stay at the wrong hotel. That was just something that people made up on Twitter, except for an American citizen who recently did violate OFAC and stayed at a hotel that America does not allow American citizens to stay in. It wasn't me, though. It was Nick Shirley. Literally, the hotel that Nick Shirley was in was actually on the state sponsor of terrorism list. We obviously didn't stay at a hotel.
Oh, Chad said that's not normal. His lawyer should have got it before it broke. Yeah, because that would make more sense to me, right? I feel like that would make so much more sense if his legal reps, whoever they were, would have gotten it, because this is a big deal. Like, this is a huge deal. Oops.
That we obviously didn't stay at a fucking hotel that the American government has made illegal to stay in. Nick Shirley, on the other hand, whether because he's a idiot or because it doesn't really matter what he does because he's basically an agent for the state, did stay in a hotel that was illegal for him to stay in. I personally think it's idiotic. You should be able to stay in whatever fucking hotel you want to, by the way.
Right.
I think it's a totally ridiculous restriction imposed upon Americans and Americans only, mind you. It's hilarious that the mouth-breathing rightoid accidentally violated U.S. Treasury rules.
Ableist language here. Hello, mouth-breathing rightoid. Hello, who is this? Politics is so fucking Jesus Christ.
They're targeting the scary Marxists for literally following the law. Yeah. But yeah, if this is the investigation, that's hilarious. This is just like headline chasing. The federal government got clickbaited by Twitter headlines. Federal government targeting people because they mobilize activists, sow discord, and normalize rhetoric, as suggested here, would be a blatant violation of the First Amendment. So yeah, not only is this this is very clearly a First Amendment violation. And I don't know if this is the one that breaks the dam, where they just like try to figure out trumped up charges to like actively prosecute people who've done nothing wrong, mind you. But they just do this to finally tackle the First Amendment. I don't know. When's the court date? I don't know anything. I don't know anything because I have not received a subpoena. There is no information that I have received. Wasn't most of what you did? Yes, everything we did in Cuba was cleared to the State Department. Or not the State Department, the Treasury. This is also coming from that very same regulatory body. This is coming from the Treasury. Treasury is the one that handles sanctions, ridiculous or not. The whole point of this is to get this article out there and to basically tell people like, oh, you got some opinions about the Trump administration? Oh, you want to aid the starving children that we are starving? The Trump administration is starving? Well, that's illegal now. Okay, we're going to make that illegal. Or at least we're going to try to make that illegal. The whole point of this is to leak this to
News report casts blame on U.S. sanctions for Cuba's increasing infant mortality rate. You know that's on purpose. See, that's the white supremacy of it all. That's the colonizer belief of it all, right? Like, look at the United States freaking out because women are making choices not to have babies. Well, other countries, they're purposely tackling their ability to make children. And like, that's very common. You saw how the Pope recently apologized for the Catholic Church's connection to slavery. I was like, great. Are you going to also apologize for the sex abuse? Are you also going to call out the attacks on indigenous people? Are you going to just talk about the forced sterilization of indigenous people? Like, again, sterilization, which is why we fight so hard for choice, is always the first thing people want to control, your ability to make children. That's why they don't care that Palestinian children are dying. It's why they do not care that Iranian schoolgirls are dying. That's also why Israel is obsessed with collecting dead or semen from dead Israelis to continue. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you guys know about this. I'm not making it up. It's real. I've covered it on stream, where there's a program that Israel has to collect semen, sperm from dead people in order to make babies. And I was like, does nobody think this is fucking weird? Like, that is such a weird thing to do. Okay. So when we have these conversations, just know this is why people question like the ethno state of it all. It's why people question like, hey, are you like, there's a difference between being afraid that there's a genocide happening or your people are going to be, but then there's like a weirdness about this obsession about having like biological children. So again, we've covered this on stream. If you guys missed it, we did cover this story. Yeah, Chad said it's part of their eugenicist project. I'm telling you, like, eugenics is playing a huge place in this whole thing. And so all of it, again, for me, comes down to men being obsessed through patriarchy, this idea of spreading their sperm and spreading their genetics and needing to have their babies. That's Elon Musk's whole thing, which is why it's annoying that Hasan collaborated with Ashley St. Clair. Like this, literally had a baby with Elon Musk. This, in gay, like I couldn't even, there's so many layers to this. But again, yeah.
We're going to make that illegal, or at least we're going to try to make that illegal. The whole point of this is to leak this to Fox News ahead of time to start the process of threatening people. U.S. law imposes broad restrictions on financial transactions involving Cuba, primarily through the Cuban Asset Control Regulations, Administrative Office of Foreign Assets Control. Those rules generally prohibit unlicensed travel-related transactions and exports of goods or services to Cuba, with limited exceptions for journalism, humanitarian projects, and educational programs and certain activities meant to support the Cuban people. Again, did they sneak taking these photos of you?
Oh
yes.
my God, literally, bro. First of all, look how cute Kaya looks. That's really the only reason this photo is so cute. Look how cute Kaya is. Kaya is officially a celebrity. She is being paparazzi'd. She is the queen. She is everything. I fucking love this for Kaya. Hate this for Hasan, because honestly, how violating. Look, I don't know if Hasan wants to be paparazzi'd, but how fucking violating. I dislike the paparazzi. I dislike the idea of Fox News hitting, look at Fox News Digital. Fox News, what? Just stood in front of Hasan's home so when he walked Kaya, they could take a picture? So fucking weird. It's so weird. I would hate, this is what I'm saying. What is the point of being famous? Like, ew. How scary. I don't like this.
I talked to some people, and I suspect that they got creep shots of me in the morning as Kaya was peeing before I go to the gym.
Great.
And then they also
Wow.
got they got creep shots of someone who works with me as well, which was really annoying. That means that they just
Gross.
parked outside my house all the way back
Creepy.
in motherfucking January.
Like, you can tell Hasan just has no fucking clue. He just looks like so normal. This is the most normal picture I've ever seen of Hasan Piker. This is just a normal human being doing their morning walk and run with their dog. How violating.
Like months ago, and have just been taking photos of me, which is definitely weird. It's a violation of my privacy, but
Gross.
it is what it is. Fox News Digital recently observed Piker outside his Los
Gross.
Angeles home, escorting his dog Kaya outside of the house for a bathroom break early one morning. Kaya, a large breed dog that is a mix of Tibetan Mastiff, Chow Chow, and Saint Bernard, has been the beloved subject of an online campaign dubbed Free Kaya over allegations Piker trained Kaya with a shock collar that transmits painful stimuli as a part of behavioral training.
I'm going to ban anybody who says he shot Kaya. You have no idea if he shot Kaya. We don't know that he shot Kaya. Okay, that video was not refutable evidence, regardless if, you know what I mean? So I will ban anybody who says Hasan shot Kaya. You do not know that. Gun to your head. You would be very silly to make that bet. Okay? You'd be very silly to make that bet.
At one moment, Piker silently stood over Kaya, gestured with a finger for her to return to the house after relieving herself. Later, Kaya was observed being walked and driven by a woman leaving Piker's home.
Okay.
This is insane, right?
Okay. What the fuck?
Once again, this proves many different things that I have been saying
So bad.
conclusively, which is that Kaya goes on walks while I'm streaming. And it's really funny that people just wouldn't believe me at all. And now there is this, it's in the paper. I like that they are framing this as like something sinister where I pointed to the house. Benjamin has made her mark as an activist gadfly who stages media spectacles at congressional hearings, defense industry trade conferences, and the homes of government officials, yelling in invectives, chants, and slogans, branding herself as anti-war, but actually running a pattern of messages denouncing the U.S. and uplifting communist and authoritarian regimes of the Islamic Republic of Iran and the Chinese Communist Party and the Communist Party of China, Communist Party of Cuba. Fox News Digital recently observed Benjamin outside her colorful home in Washington, D.C. with her partner and fellow activist, T.K. Barry, who accompanied her on the trip to Havana. Someone also noticed the creep shots disprove that you use a shock collar.
Oh
It
my
doesn't,
God.
guys, this has been discussed a million times over
Oh
and
my
over and
God.
over again. There's...
That's so crazy.
Yes. Not only does Kaya get numerous walks, but yes, she doesn't have a shock collar. It
Ugh.
doesn't even matter.
Ugh.
You think my haters give a shit?
I just think it's so gross to take pictures too of people taking care of Kaya, of people that work with Hasan. Like, what a horrible position to be put in. And this is why I say, look, I'm deeply empathetic to the position he's in. And also, he did want to be there. So it is a big responsibility. And that's why I say, like, I don't want that responsibility. It's a big responsibility. And this is exactly why. This is a huge responsibility. So, I understand. I want to be deeply empathetic with anybody who has to deal with this shit. And no, you don't have to do it. You could disappear right now and move on, live for the rest of your life off your income, right? You don't have to do this. You could literally do anything else. And at the same time, I think Hasan has found his place in the world. Like I say this all the time, all of us need to find our place in the universe. It's subjective, but I think he has found it. I think he's obviously good at what he does. I take principled issues with him, but I think it's obvious that he is where else could he be, really? You know what I mean?
It was never about the truth. Anyway, Piker's been criticized as saying America deserved 9/11, a remark he later said it was poorly phrased, and for past comments about Representative Dan Crenshaw, Navy SEAL veteran who lost an eye in Afghanistan. More recently, critics, including Representative Richie Torres, by the way, shouts out to all the Democrats who are up my ass and have been up my ass, the Israel First Democrats.
Yeah, literally,
Thank you.
fuck them.
You are giving ample, you're giving ample permission. You're giving ample permission to the fascists
Yep.
that want to take away not just my rights, but your rights as well. So see you in the camps, I guess. More recently, critics, including Representative Richie Torres, have accused Piker of amplifying anti-Semitic rhetoric after October 7, while Piker has denied anti-Semitism and said his criticism is aimed at Israel, not Jews. Piker, Benjamin Singham, Evans, and Code Pink did not respond to requests for comment. Yeah, it's because you literally sent me a request for comment and then immediately published. Not to say that I would probably give Fox News a comment anyway, but according to sources, the Office of Foreign Assets Control is also investigating Code Pink's DC coordinator, Olivia DiNucci, a former Division I basketball star from Emerson College in Boston. Her unassuming girl-next-door persona often gains her entry into coveted spaces, and then she disrupts with loud theatrics. She joined a convoy...
I'm sorry, what is that language?
Getting Code Pink's DC coordinator, Olivia DiNucci, a former Division I basketball star from Emerson College in Boston. Her unassuming girl-next-door persona often gains her entry into coveted spaces, and then she
disrupts with loud theatrics. Is this misogynistic? It's giving women are snakes, women are tricksters. It's giving women are deceivers. You know what I'm saying? Her unassuming girl next door persona often gains her entry to coveted spaces. What is she, a spy? Okay.
Disrupts with loud theatrics. She joined a convoy led by the Brazilian activist Avila. A lot of this, by the way, does still have a lot to do with Israel. It's not just about Cuba, but it's also about Israel as well.
It's about everything.
The Office of Foreign Assets...
It's not even just about Israel. It's about patriarchy. It's not just about patriarchy. It's about the fact that we're animals on a planet. Zoom out. Like, that's what I'm saying. We're also zoomed in on Hasan Piker. Hasan Piker is a symptom of a system. You know what I'm saying? Our government officials being obsessed with Hasan is a symptom of the system. Do you have nothing better to do? Now, don't get me wrong, that I do think Hasan plays a role in the fact that he is getting attention from these people because he does want to be in a room with them, obviously, right? He's been interviewing politicians. He's been having people on his streams, which again, like, sometimes I wish, and I don't know how much Hasan has done this. Maybe you guys can correct me. I really wish Hasan, like Taylor Lorenz, was a journalist first and then a content creator. But it feels like Hasan plays this game where he's like, I'm a streamer first and then I'm a content creator. And the same way that Charlie Kirk was getting the benefit of the doubt for being a streamer or a podcaster first, but no, he is a political entity. And so again, Ashley St. Clair is being used the same way, which is very frustrating for me to watch Hasan amplify this woman's voice. Is like, she's like, I'm just a tee. I'm just a girly, which is exactly what the Republicans used her for. And now Hasan is doing the same thing to her, which, by the way, is very patriarchal of him to utilize a woman's presence and a woman's body and a woman's voice to push his own agenda while still her weaponizing Hasan's association to get herself in good graces when she has not done the accountability that's been needed. So again, when we talk about intersectionality, we're talking about an axis, right? We're talking about the intersection of the fact that she is a woman in a patriarchal world surviving under patriarchy and utilizing white supremacy for gain. And then Hasan, right? This is a play in that intersection as well, right? Where yes, he's standing up for good things, but also he's still a man under patriarchy who gets the benefit of the doubt. So she's using him from credibility. He's using her to God knows what. And so it's just they're using each other. They're using each other, right?
Stroke and impose civil penalties under a strict liability standard, meaning the government does not have to prove intent. The Justice Department, by contrast, generally must show that a defendant willfully violated law in a criminal case, often through evidence of concealment, evasion, or knowing participation in prohibited transactions. In a long live stream on Saturday, Piker interviewed another influencer, Ashley St. Clair, about having a baby with billionaire Elon Musk, railed against Trump, defended communist leaders of Cuba, and Free Associated about other topics in the news, including a shooting outside the White House, decrying the chaos in America. It's terrifying, he said. So you know how you said, one steak home for you, that we're cooked? Does this mean we are now in fact cooked? We'll see. But the author is a psycho, it seems. Democratic Socialists use the rose in their graphics, branding, and protest signs, symbol of their ideological belief. Let me break it down. Hasan Piker is one of the most prominent members of the Democratic Socialists of America.
Wait, who is this? Oh, okay.
Branding and protest signs, symbol of their ideological belief. Let me break it down. Hasan Piker is one of the most prominent members of the Democratic Socialists of America. First of all, not a member. Not an official member, at least. Maybe an honorary one, but not an official one. But fine, whatever.
Okay, actually kind of important for him to say that because I was curious.
I've long maintained the position that I am, org agnostic, although I love the Democratic Socialists of America the most, for sure. A DSA political candidate, Oliver Larkin, expressed support for Hasan Piker and Medea Benjamin in the face of subpoenas from Treasury.
The reason this is funny to me is there was over my Bert Simon channel, there was a commenter that was like really confused about my criticism of people hoarding wealth. And what does that mean? And it's just like, I'm asking a question. And they were like, I'm part of the DSA. Are you part of the DSA? And I'm just like, like this isn't, they're like, I'm going to have a net worth of $10 million by the time I retire. I'm like, okay. Like, guys, you're doing too much. Like, you're doing too much in these comments. But I feel like it's the same way that when vegans talk, all the meat eaters go like, what about this? What about this? What about this? Like, okay. Like, again, it was just such a weird, like, DSA. What does that mean? Like, you think you're a card carrying member of the DSA. So now I now you're what? Like now I can't say anything? I don't understand.
Department from their March trip to Cuba in possible violation of sanctions. Cuba is a one-party state, the Communist Party of Cuba, Partido Comunista de Cuba, PCC, the only political party in Cuba. Democratic Socialists of America is a key member of the transnational network backing the Communist Party of Cuba. So do you guys see what's going on here? They're trying to get everyone tied up. Like they're trying to get every like left activism network in this country, like all matter of like activism, whether it be socialist, whether it be anti-capitalist, all this stuff. What is she said? Hashtag free Kaya. Hello, Hasan the Hun. Surrender your ego and accept one of these offers for a new home for Kaya. You curse her all the time. You were clearly frustrated with Kaya. She isn't a potted plant. Let her live. This is a Fox News reporter, dude. This is the Fox News reporter that wrote this article. That's incredible. That's so crazy. She isn't a potted plant. Let her live as a dog, free to roam, a home, move, run, meander. Hashtag free Kaya. Ironic because her literal reporting, if you can call it that, shows that she is meandering and going on walks and going to parks. And it's like genuinely insane. She's reposting AUK 2000. Indeed, Hasan Piker is drawn to the attention of federal authorities for possibly aiding and abetting a communist regime. Then he has drawn the ire of dog lovers for allegedly using a shock collar on his cute dog Kaya. It's a public service to draw attention to both issues. It's unbelievable.
I'm not on
Dude.
screen.
What a time to be alive,
Oops.
you know? To which I said, of course, to this article, I said, the American government would rather try to criminalize delivering aid to a country we've starved than punish the Epstein class. Max Blumenthal says, an unintentionally hilarious article by Zionist nutbag Asra Nomani to justify the House GOP's McCarthyite fishing expedition. Among the infractions committed by Hasan Piker and Medea Benjamin are staying in the wrong hotel in Havana and this. To which I replied with, we stayed at the right hotel, by the way. The government got duped by a viral Twitter post. I'm losing my mind. Isn't that crazy? If that's one of the suspicions,
that's why I said, you know what the government feels like? It feels like upper management. Have you guys ever worked at a company and you realize like nobody really knows what's going on and it's all kind of messy? And the people who kind of know like the most are kind of like the people like on the ground, and or like you kind of realize like nobody knows what they're doing and we're all just trying to get through our 8-hour workday. That's what this administration feels like. So when Trump is always asked questions, he's like, I don't know. I'm learning about this for the first time. Like nobody knows what's really happening. And so it feels like that so much. Where how is there nobody vetting? How is there nobody fact checking? Well, you know, what are you going to do?
Literally not a thing that happened. It's just not a thing that happened. All of my sweatiest ops are also having a field day with this, apparently.
No.
Reminder that red shirts...
Well, here's Destiny. I was like, I don't know what Destiny's saying about Hasan, but even the people on TikTok who don't like Hasan are rallying behind him. But of course, I knew Destiny was going to be a little... He always is, okay?
And brown shirts going at it is actually super beneficial for libs and democracy, and it would be the stupidest thing in the universe for libs to intervene.
What?
To which Cuss says, this is just explicitly. First day came for the communists, by the way. Literally...
God, this man cannot learn to save his life. I cannot. Stuntedness. If stuntedness was literally a person, if it was the Powerpuff Girls and they're like, you know, putting everything, it was just stuntedness, just a whole vial of stuntedness. Damn,
There
bro.
is a very famous poem by a German Lutheran pastor that starts with, first they came for the communists, and I did not speak out, for I was not a communist. Then they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out, for I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. And then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak out for me. That's literally the major takeaway, is that it doesn't stop and end with your perceived ideological enemies, which
obviously
I shouldn't even be your ideological enemy. If you are a liberal and this is a fascist administration, this is your opportunity. This is your moment to buck up, to nut up, or shut up. This is your opportunity to say, you know, it's gone too far. Maybe I'm not the biggest fan of Hasan. We have our disagreements, but this is unbelievable. This is ridiculous. This is madness. And yet, these guys don't comprehend exactly what's happening. They don't understand what's taking shape in front of their eyes. They think this is a great opportunity to attack their own personal online internet enemies. One-sided beefs half the time. It's crazy. I'm uncommitted to standing with the podcaster Hasan Piker. He has done more than be lesser evil of the two evils against Trump if he wants to earn my support. First of all, this is an admission that you would...
I'm uncommitted to standing with podcaster Hasan Piker. He has to do more than be the lesser of two evils against Trump if he wants to earn my support. What support? Is he running for office? Is this just in regards to the subpoena? What do you mean? You're not standing behind Hasan Piker. You're standing against fascism. You're standing against the Trump administration. Obviously, when we say we support Hasan against the subpoena, we're saying we stand against the Trump administration. What does that mean? He has to do more than be the lesser of two evils against Trump? What is happening?
Vote for Donald Trump over me. I know you're trying to make a point, a really
What?
bad point, regardless. This idea that like I deserve
Was this like a joke?
to be punished by
I'm too autistic to understand
the
this.
Trump administration because you have perceived me engaging in some kind of slight against Kamala Harris when I dared to criticize Kamala Harris's failures in the campaign and warned that she was going to most likely lose. And they're all hitting the same line.
Look, I want to say this. Have you guys ever seen this clip of Kamala Harris? I mean, you have. What am I asking that for? Stupid question. Hold on. La 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 la. Have you seen this clip? Boop, 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 boop.
We must stand with Israel. Our defense relationship is critical to both nations, which is why I support the United States' commitment to provide Israel with $38 billion in military assistance over the next decade. And that's why I am fully committing to maintaining Israel's qualitative military edge.
There's like something so like this is why I say like politics is where good people go to die, and also why you have to play games that I couldn't even engage with in any capacity in order to get here. This is why I want to talk about Ashley St. Clair as well, because you know, I understand that people wanted Hasan to say that he's endorsing Kamala. And I also understand that people watched some of those clips of Kamala and her support of Israel. And like, this is why I say politics is about winning. So you do whatever it takes to win. And this is why I don't do politics. Because again, I'm only here for a short time on earth. We all are. But we've been told time and time again, as marginalized people, that if we just trust the powers that be, that somehow they promise they'll give us our dues or they'll help us. But they took that 38 billion, or they're taking any of this these relationships, and they're just abusing everybody else. And I think like this is why I like philosophy, because you know, when I talk, I'm sure because my audience is left, they're probably thinking I'm primarily criticizing them. But the truth is like, I don't want to make content for Republicans, but that's really who needs to lock in, right? Conservatives en masse, like everybody needs to lock in, but conservatives really need to lock in. And I remember when I was younger, I was just telling the story to my partner, like retelling it for the 100th time, that when I was young, like in my early 20s, like 21 or whatever, and maybe I was 20, 21, whatever it was. Okay. I had my first adult friend group out of high school. And they were all, that's when it stopped. I was 19, 20 to like 21. Okay. That was like a couple of years. I had this really fun, solid friend group of like libertarians, conservatives, and Democrats. And we had a connection to talk radio, and we were going to do a young, right of the aisle radio show. So we go into the studio. And I'm so excited because I wanted to be in politics. Like, that's what I wanted. I wanted to help people. I wanted to do the right thing. And I was raised a conservative. And even though I was like very rebellious, and I was like a gay person, and I was like, my shtick was going to be like the conservative lesbian. And I remember asking people in the radio show, like, hey, after we filmed the promo, which they didn't pick up the show, but I asked them, what if I change? And they said, what do you mean? I was like, well, what if I'm not a conservative anymore? What if I become like a full-blown liberal? And they were like, that's fine. Just keep it private. And I said, what do you mean? They said, just keep it private. Like most of the radio hosts, most of the people in the Republican side of things, most of the people in the conservative radio, they're grifting. And they didn't use the word grift at the time. It was business. It was called business. Like, oh yeah, it's just part of the business. Like keep your personal stuff personal, but your brand has to be consistent. And that was it. I walked away and I was like, nah, I'm good though. And I walked away. And that's why it's interesting to me to see in the days of TikTok. This is, by the way, so many years ago. So in the era of TikTok, on the internet, everything's available to you. There are still people engaging in this behavior. And I think like you have all of the access. We know now. I was raised at a time when, I mean, it was very scandalous, these things. You know, I mean, they were happening, but it was very different. And now we know. So now there's like an expectation that like you should know a little bit better, which is again why Hasan willing to collab with Ashley St. Clair. Like again, Hasan has a microphone and he keeps giving it to billionaires running in California and Ashley St. Clair. Like, what are we doing? So that, again, are you a journalist first or are you a streamer first? It's like you want to play these two roles again. Which one are you? And why are you giving it to her out of all the people? And it's, again, it reminds me of why politics is, I just can't do it. I just can't do it because I think it's political. I think he's trying to win over other people. He's trying to bring people in. He's trying to get, because I get it. Like he looks at these people who are holding him to an incredibly difficult standard. And then he has an opportunity to collab with Ashley St. Clair with his fucking misogynistic thumbnail, you know, to piss Elon off to play these boy games, which by the way, what's more misogynistic than a man putting a woman in between him and his enemy, who's also a man, who was also her ex? That's what I'm saying. Like, this is why men utilize women for their own political games. She is a chess piece on a chessboard, and he is using her with no hesitation. Jesus Christ.
I'm uncommitted on Hasan getting subpoenaed. He needs to stop acting like he's the lesser of two evils and instead be the good. Remember, these are all liberals. These are all liberals who claim to hate Trump. This is supposed to be their number one thing. The only thing they're supposed to hate is Donald Trump. They don't really even care about the policies all that much. As long as a D is doing the same exact kind of policies, they're fine with it, but they hate Donald Trump for, you know, whether it's because of the way Trump moves, the way Trump operates, it doesn't matter. They're supposed to hate Trump, and they can't even do that right. This person says, does Hasan Piker think Kamala Harris would have done the same? Just wondering. To which I responded with, you'd cheer it on the same. You'd cheer it on just the same, big dog, clearly. And so many of these guys are just Israel first too, which is very strange, you know? Like even Third Way at least understands that like openly cheering this on would be a bad look for them because they're adults. They're adult enough to understand.
What is this?
This is
Oh yeah, okay. Matt Bennett says, I'm notably not a fan of Piker, but this is absolute bullshit. You forced this, F you hate America. What is this? I don't know who this is.
Is a horrifying precedent. Meanwhile, you got the ultras to my left on the bad empanada side celebrating this. Okay, say
wait. Is he saying bad? Wait, what is he saying?
The ultras to my left on the bad empanada side celebrate.
Oh, is he saying Destiny is the bad empanada of the liberals? Or is bad empanada also celebrating this?
Celebrating this. Okay, saying like, oh yeah, Trump administration should actually arrest this person because he's a real Zionist, which
that's
Trump,
crazy.
The straight up slave of Israel, is not the Zionist in this equation. I am, right? From their perspective.
What?
They're trying to justify this that way. So ridiculous. And then,
Ridiculous.
of course, the anti-Trump sex pestiny is saying, reminder that red shirts and brown shirts going at it is actually super beneficial for libs and democracy, and it would be the stupidest thing in the universe for libs to intervene. Famously, fascists always stop at the edge cases. Famously. Yeah, this is amazing. According to public statements, it's believed that the delegation member stayed at a...
No, wait, Chaz, that Ben Empanada is also promoting it. Like, Ben Empanada is happy that Trump is going after... BE was mending about the subpoena after it was released. Memeing? Oh, memeing. This is why I say I don't fuck with these boys. These boys are all so petty. They literally have no principled stances. Are you serious?
Hotel, the U.S. State Department has put on a Cuba restricted list as businesses directly tied to the communist government of Cuba designated a state sponsor of terrorism. We stayed at a legal hotel. This whole thing seems to stem from an erroneous viral tweet. Know who did actually stay at a sanctioned hotel? Nick Shirley. We know because he broadcast from it and told everyone he stayed there. Yeah.
Brother.
This guy from the Manhattan Institute thinks the subpoena is because of your Waza cash comment. He's been living. Yeah, it's not illegal. It's literally not illegal to bring cash and give, and purchase things in Cuban businesses, or even give it straight up on the street if you want to give it out to people. That's literally a normal tourism function. There is a humanitarian purpose beyond it as well. None of this is illegal, guys. I always found it odd that when Hasan got off the plane in Cuba, one of the first people waiting to take a selfie with him was Jody Evans, Neville Roy Singham's wife and CodePink co-founder. I don't know. Maybe because she was one of the people that was on the... She's a part of the CodePink organization. And CodePink was also there. Like, they were also, putting... I don't even know the exact details, but they were also part of organizing the trip together. You can't pay for this kind of publicity, fam. Okay, guys, I'll be honest.
Okay, wait. I want to hear what he says about this.
I prefer not to have this publicity. Okay.
Thank God. Okay, Hasan, lock in. That's what I'm saying. Say that, because Jesus Christ, I believe that. This is horrible. This is not good. Like, this is not funny Fox News people saying Hasan is handsome, even though I think that's cringe. This is serious attention. This is bad attention.
Okay, if you think that this is just like, it's good. I know some of you are looking for a silver lining in the situation, but this is not good.
This is bad.
There is no world where having to deal with like a federal case is actually a good moment. I would much rather not have to deal with this at all.
Yeah.
Someone wrote
Okay,
a script for
good.
you. Yeah, I saw. Hasan is on the stand. Senator Kennedy recounts Dr. Jihad's cussy lesson verbatim. Mr. Piker, do you think somebody making these remarks should be conducting humanitarian aid missions?
All right. We're done with that. Yeah, okay. I'm glad he ended on that note because I think that's so important for his viewership to hear. Like, this isn't funny. This isn't a meme. But that's why I keep saying, like, hey, I'm kind of tired and exhausted. I was talking to my friend the other day, one of my best friends, and I told her, like, I'm working on my speech. I'm working up how I show up on stream because she knows me as this very, like, fun and loud and, like, your mom jokes and, like, a very, like, silly girly. And I told her that I'm trying to show up a little bit more serious at my job. And she was like, why? That's so part of your personality. And I said, it's because I'm sick of seeing these men be so unserious. Like, I'm sick of seeing it. And she was like, yeah, you're right. Fuck Trump. Fuck like this administration. They're so fucking unserious. And, you know, while I'm at work, you know, we got to work on it. It's going to take me some time to, unlearn all of my streamer habits and unlearn all of my, you know, but that's why we save your mom jokes for the Discord. You know what I'm saying? Or member streams. But in general, I think I would love for Hasan to be a little bit more serious with his audience and say, hey, like, this is real now. No, I understand that ultimately because of the way we're conditioned as people. And I think it really is a part of our nature. I know people blame algorithms, which I think that plays a role, but I think there's something in our own nature that is so philosophically evil, which I covered on my Bert Simon channel, that revels and loves the drama. And we are excited by it. It's stimulating to our brains. I mean, Hasan being serious and monotone is just going to be less stimulating. You know what I mean? And so I do understand. I think I'm trying to figure out a way to do it. I'm trying to figure out a way to cover things in a way that's stimulating, but not give in to the philosophical evil. And I think it's a fine line. I don't think I'm going to get popular off of it, which is good because, to be honest with you, I don't want to be paparazzi'd by Fox News outside my house. Ew, I don't want that. I don't want that. And I don't want the US government even knowing who I am. Thank you. But with that said, I do think that it's a hard position he is in, and I wouldn't wish it upon anybody. And also, he put himself there. So I hope he gets the help he needs to handle the responsibility of this burden by getting a therapist, working with the community, making sure he takes time off, making sure he meditates, making sure that he takes care of himself. Because if he's going to seriously take on this responsibility, then he needs to take care of himself. And he needs to recenter himself through his values as often as he can, because the world will tempt him, like it has done in the past, to act in a way that he has to fix later, if you will, or is out of sync with his joy, right? Yeah, I think there's a nuance here that I think is really real, because at the end of the day, like, Hasan, Chelsea, no matter who we talk about, like, ultimately Taylor Lorenz, like, they are problematic, and also they are not the problem with the system, right? They have, like I do, problematic behavior, but we are not the system. Okay, there's really something really big at play here, and it's really dangerous that people are celebrating Hasan Piker being subpoenaed by the US government. But we wonder, why did Trump get elected and how did it happen? Because you revel in the pain of others. And that is Trump's whole brand. He loves to celebrate the suffering of others. He loves to celebrate the suffering of his enemies. And so too, you will learn to revel in the suffering of your enemies if you see this as an opportunity to dunk on Hasan. And that says more about their character than anybody else's, which is why, you know, fingers crossed. I hope everything works out, and I can only hope that people rally behind the injustice, even if, you know, it's not rallying behind Hasan, but it is an injustice, and this is wrong, you know?